Yo, 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 yo. Ain't that like, what's up, Delta? What's up, Kenna? Man, my bad, man. I started late. It was a slow day today, for real. I actually was going to go on at around like 8, 7:30. They snuck 2 cars in on me. I ain't even home yet. But, I know we got to talk about Alicia Andrews. And that's 2 times just made a motherfucking explosive claim that we gonna have to dive into because he ain't keeping it real. You know, yo, we just try to keep that shit real over here, man. Ain't no need to lie, man. You gotta lie about something, yo, that means you shouldn't did it. That's always my perception online. You understand what I'm saying? If you being honest and true to who you is, you ain't gotta lie. You can stand on anything you say. But when you out this bitch, knowing you moving wild and reckless on certain situations, you gotta lie to back out of it. Or to make sense, but you can't make a lie make sense. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been fucking with Finesse. And, nigga funny as shit. But, you ain't keeping it real, man. He ain't keeping it real when it comes down to that sugar shit, man. Or we ain't keeping that shit 100. We gonna get to all that. But what it is, though. What's up, Edward? We gonna get to all that. I'll be home in like 10 minutes. Andrew scored a 15 piece. She still made out. She basically got charged for being, or got found guilty for being negligent. That's basically what she got found guilty of. And the state of Florida snuck that lesser included in on niggas. I ain't even know they did that. They snuck that motherfucker in. And I told y'all before, I hate the fact that they're allowed to try you on the main count. And then when it come down to deliberation, they're allowed to sneak lesser included in there. That's fucked up, y'all. That ain't fair, man. That's not fair. If y'all didn't think y'all could win on a first degree murder, why ever charge it? Because that's what I'm trying to explain to y'all, right? So the whole time, say I get booked on a first degree murder charge, right? And I'm sitting in that bitch for 3 years on a first degree murder. Now, first degree murder carry life in prison. Most of the time, mandatory. Life, no parole. So 3 years, I'm in jail stressing. Having nightmares and shit. I told y'all about some of the dreams I used to have, y'all. I used to have dreams that I committed a murder and got caught on the scene. And anybody that been locked up before, y'all know them jail dreams is vivid. Like, some of the most vivid dreams I ever had in my fucking life, I had in jail. I mean, wet dreams and all. I don't know what it is. I guess that's what people say. You can lock my body, but can't lock my mind, because the mind works overtime while you sleep in jail. So what I was saying was, imagine you locked up 3-4 years fighting a murder, first degree. You got life, no parole, hanging over your head, right? Stressed out. That's a stressful situation. Just the thought of you never being able to see the streets again, never being able to see your family, on a certain level again. Of course they can visit you, but just never being able to move on your own accord. You go to court, fight the case, and they find you guilty of manslaughter. Mind you, you wasn't never charged with manslaughter though. Now, manslaughter, depending on, you know, the severity or what kind of manslaughter they give you, it could be voluntary, involuntary, only carries 15 to 30 years. Yo, why you just ain't charged me with that to begin with? I mean, maybe I'd have been less stressed out in that bitch. I'm in here stressing out thinking I ain't never gonna see the light of day again, because if I get found guilty, it's a mandatory life sentence. And the whole time, I could have just been in this bitch stressing over 20 years. Stressing over 15 years in Alicia Andrews' case. Because they gave her the max. I don't like that, man. I think that's fucked up, yo, to do that to people, man. I wonder how many people committed suicide off, you know, just being charged with certain type of crimes. You know, life, no parole. Whole time they probably could have went to court, beat the bitch, and caught a motherfucking manslaughter. 10 years. But they'll never know, because the stress over the life sentence was too much to bear. Yo, I don't like that lesser included shit. What? What you talking about, man? You always saying something that don't make sense. Yeah, but I don't like that, yo. I think that's fucked up, man. Like in Melly case. Y'all remember Melly case, right? They was ready to find Melly guilty of manslaughter with a deadly weapon. And that one juror saved the day. Because in Melly case, it was all first degree murder. First degree murder. Are we clear? I know it's dark, but we can still be clear. So in Melly case, it was all first degree premeditated murder. You know, second degree murder is a murder that happens like you at a convenience store, you at a gas station, you get into it with somebody and you kill them. That's second degree. It wasn't no premeditation involved. They can still give you life for that too, but a lot of times you might get something like 30, 40, you get 20, 25. Now, Nelly's whole case was about premeditation. All the evidence spoke to a well thought out, calculated plot to murder his friends. The case goes to the jury. They add the lesser included. Manslaughter with a deadly weapon. If it wasn't for that one juror, they'd have found Melly guilty of manslaughter with a deadly weapon when the state's whole case was first degree murder. You understand what I'm saying? Like, y'all whole case was first degree murder. How the fuck you gonna find me guilty of manslaughter with a deadly weapon? That's what happened to Alicia Andrews. That whole case was first degree premeditation murder. The whole case. That was the whole point of them bringing up the text messages from 3 years ago. Look, 3 years ago she said she wanted them dead. But all in all, I think the 15 years was adequate, because it just basically said that she was negligent. If she didn't know what was going on, she should have. That's basically what they found her guilty of. Now, of course, I'm saying bloggers that don't know shit say it's starting to seem like talking about if you know, because she trying to appeal. Her lawyer spoke out after sentencing. And the blogger talking about, yeah, that's her chances at appeal. He just admitted that she takes accountability. Yo, taking accountability could mean anything, man. Like when you say I'm taking accountability, if you don't speak into specifics, yo, that can mean anything. And that's not gonna hinder her ability to appeal it. Like, nigga keep trying to make this case of, look, now they can come back, the government can come back and say, look, well, you said you was taking accountability. Like, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? Stop that shit, my nigga. It's starting to look incredible with that shit, for real. We just ran dirt paperwork yesterday, and the nigga ain't even cover that. And I think Dirk lawyer did that for the specific reason of, not Dirk, Didi lawyer. Wrote what he wrote, or she wrote specifically because of blogs is reading paperwork and misinterpreting it. And basically what she said was that we're not admitting to anything in this motion. We're simply using, basically, I'm paraphrasing, I'm using saying it in my words. We're strictly using the government's theory of the events. And it got so bad that lawyers got to do that because if you know about law, I thought that was common sense. But these blogs is taking that paperwork and taking what the lawyers is filing in paperwork and calling, yo, niggas just, I don't know, man. That shit is crazy. Crazy. If you let some of these people tell you, yo, everybody done told. For real, ain't nobody never went to court and didn't tell because your lawyer gonna speak. Anything involving the case, it's a true admission. Nah, bro, that shit don't go like that, my nigga. Or now, mess yourself up at the if you try to appeal. So look, Sean Gatewright, by him getting on that stand and trying to can't never see coming around this back. By him getting on that stand and speaking at his sentencing, you heard the line of questioning by the prosecutors. The prosecutors was attempting to get him to admit some things on the record. That's true. Whether he admitted anything or not, anything of value, not really. I think he did admit that he drove the car and switched the car out. Really wasn't no violence in that, but that can be used. But your lawyer saying that my client takes full accountability without your client saying anything, yo, they're not gonna. There's nothing to bring back up. They're not gonna at a later hearing at a post conviction hearing or appeal hearing. They're not gonna bring up. Well, your lawyer said that you take accountability. They're not gonna do that, bro. Like, yo, law isn't black and white like that. Like, it's not just that simple. Like, that's why I said when I was saying before, when I was going through that shit with the one nigga, like, yo, you can't just always go to Google. You can't just always go to Google and say, look, this what it is, this what it ain't. Just based off of what Google says, yo, because every situation is different. And the law isn't written up that way. Like, it's not just that simple as to say, oh, the lawyer said this. That's an admission of guilt. Oh, bro. It's more factors that go into that. Yo, when did he say it? What hearing was this? What stage of the trial process was it? All that matters, man. All of that matters. But I'm back in the crib now, so we ready to get the rock and roll. I got all fucking wet, yo. Mad as a bitch. Slow as shit today. Probably get a call. Get 2 calls, it start raining and shit. What's up, Scott? We're gonna be too busy being slaves to the prison system. I think Sean Gatewright is gonna come home one day. I think Sean Gatewright gonna come home one day. Due to him just being so young. I think he's gonna come home one day. Now, when that day comes, Smith and Wesson, what it is. When that day gonna be, I don't know. You feel me? It could be 20 years from now. It could be 30 years from now. It could be fucking 40 years from now. But you know, laws change. And that's how a lot of people come home. Now, I don't think they ever gonna change the law on murder. But Benzo, he was only 17 years old. Or 18 years old when all that shit happened. That's just me, I mean, wishful thinking for real. Yo, shut your ass up. Start that shit. Basically, that's just wishful thinking, y'all. Yeah, man. It'd be good for him if one day he can come home. You know, I'm really not I'm really not a supporter, y'all, of giving like young kids life in prison and shit. I'm really not a supporter of that shit for real. Y'all know that. For the people that been over here for the longest time. He probably do, he might do more than 25. He might come home at like 50. If they got locked up at 18, you might get out at like 50, man. Might do 30 in that bitch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think one day he gonna get out. Like, I don't know when that day gonna be, but I think one day he'll get out. He might be the only one. He might be the only one. And, you know, he got a good family. You know, all of that shit, you know, all that stuff play a role. You know, depending on who's still alive, you know, if the time ever come. You know, niggas do die in that bitch. I mean, your family members don't live forever. I mean, but Alicia Andrews. What else the nigga say about Alicia Andrews that I was just sitting back like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Nigga just be saying anything online. Say Cleo got a lot of connections. Alright, so let's get to this sentencing. What the fuck is she talking about? Oh my gosh. Jasmine Crockett explodes. I wanna watch that too. We ain't ready to watch it yet, but
Who's training the new guy? No show? What do you mean he didn't show up?
Managing with Connecting would be a whole lot easier.
Gangster,
Handle this forward. It's much more.
Who's gangster, bro? Alicia Andrews sentenced. Now Julio Foolio mother spoke. Look, I hate when they do this, y'all. Yo, people is human, man. Like, yo, they expect people to be in court and just never smile. What the fuck on my screen? Hold on, y'all. I gotta clean my screen up. Like, yo, they expect people to be in to just like be in court, never smile. Like, yo, you gotta smile, yo. Sometimes you gotta smile to keep from crying, man. Like, yo, whatever happened. You know, you can't change it at nothing. All you can do is deal with it moving forward. Like, why is it a headline when a person is facing a serious charge when they laugh? Like, they might have said something funny. Like, shit, this shit's still funny. You feel me? Like, I know my life is on the line, you know. But you can't. You'll go crazy when you fighting these if you just take everything serious. Now, of course, you gotta take it life serious. You gotta take the case serious. But if you crack a joke and I think it's funny, I'ma laugh. I'm sorry. I'm gonna laugh. You feel me? And I don't think that's news when a person does laugh. Like, I don't believe that's news. All right, so let's check this out. And plus, y'all, people gotta understand too, y'all. She is relieved. Yo, once you get your time and go to motherfucking prison, that is a relief. That is, yo, you know, let me tell you something, right? Yo, you know how happy I was to just finally know my fate? Yo, when you facing life in prison or 40, 50 years, like when you facing an enormous amount of time in prison, yo, once you get your time, yo, that is it's a relief, man. If as long as it ain't life, you understand what I'm saying? As long as it ain't life, she didn't get life. She got 15 years. Because let me tell you, even if you get something like 25, yo, at least you know, all right, I got 25 years. Now I can start putting a plan together. I can't put a plan together until I get my time or until I at least find out what's my fate. Now I know, all right, when I gotta go through DOC, go through diagnosis, get classified. And when they send me to the jail, they send me to, all right, what I'm gonna do? Am I gonna go to school? Am I just gonna do nothing and say fuck it? I'm just gonna do my time. Am I gonna motherfucking do some type of anger management program? What am I gonna do to help me get home faster? Man, I think I would rather the death penalty than life in jail. Man, life in jail was a bitch. Fuck that. It depends on the age. The problem is, yo, these people be so young catching life in jail. Like, if you catch life at 40, you ain't really got that much time. I mean, 50, you ain't really got that much time left. When you catch life at 18, that's a long ass time. You might do 60 years in that bitch. You feel me? Like, it just depends on the age. But I gotta let people make that clear with people. Once you catch your time, and now you're leaving jail and you going to prison, yo, that is a fucking like a weight lifted off you. Yo, when I caught my time, yo, I was so fucking happy. Like it just felt so good that, all right, I ain't going to prison for life. You feel me? Like it's just like a, you understand? You know how you be, yo, when you escape a situation, it just, oh my God, thank you. Shit. It's just one of them, yo. That's all. She probably happy it's over with. People gotta understand, yo, the stressfulness of being uncertain. You understand? You know how stressful it is just being uncertain with these people's life? When your life is in these people's hands? You understand? That shit ain't no joke, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I've been through it, man. Twice. You feel me? Like, yo, that shit ain't no joke, man. When they got you, yo, and now everything it's all up to them. Your life and your future is dependent on what these people say. Nah, man, fuck that, yo. When you get that time, yo, that shit feel good. It probably feel like boulders lift off that girl's shoulders. I'll be smiling too. And you beat the life sentence. You know what happened with everybody else? You beat that too? Man, I be in that bitch all smiles. Fuck it. You heard me. She's so goddamn young, man.
Thank you.
That shit crazy, man. I swear, yo, I hate to see young people go out like this. Like, luckily she gonna get another chance, but everybody else ain't. Like, yo, she's so fucking young, man. Like, god damn, shorty. Should have never got yourself involved in this shit, man.
You get to scan that and put it in.
You know, they'll probably crack the joke. They'll probably say, man, you ready to get this over with? She probably like, man, fuck yeah. Trying to tell you. It's not a game, man. Hell yeah, man. It's no joke. Yo, prison is much better than jail. Yo, jail is stressful. Jail is tight. It's very restrictive. Man, send me to prison, man. I'm trying to tell you, I was so happy when I got sent to prison and left Towson. Oh, that shit felt so good. Man, get me the fuck out of here, man. Straight up, like, get me the fuck out of here, man. What the fuck you say that shit at, Al? Hey, Bobby, yo, come on with this. Stop you saying anything, bro. Let's stay on topic, bro.
Your Honor, this is a reset from pretrial to give Mr. Wimbush time to hire private counsel. His family has retained Mr. Life Malcolm on the pending misdemeanor case. I have spoken to Mr. Malcolm. There seems to be a miscommunication about the representation.
What it do?
He is actually out the country, has not actually had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Wimbush in the jail. Mr. Malcolm's requesting additional time so they can communicate about the actual representation of the felony cases. But they have made contact with him. They have resigned a retainer for a misdemeanor.
Now, the good thing that she got in her favor is she got the last trial judge kicked off the sentencing, which I would think in turn, you know, shine more light. It's going to shine more light on her in-trial rulings, which might help her get a new trial. And if she gets a new trial, she will not be tried on first-degree murder. No, she went to trial and lost. I mean, I can't even say she lost. She really won. The first-degree murder count, if she was to get a retrial, they cannot charge her with that again. She beat that count. Only thing she would be charged with is manslaughter. First degree, what is it? First degree manslaughter. Whatever the fuck she pled guilty to. I mean, got found guilty of.
Case. I think the miscommunication. Yes, Your Honor, there seems to be some miscommunication because while talking with his family, Mr. Malcolm was out the country and he's just requesting additional time for them to meet and hash out that.
And does anybody know when he's going to be back in the country?
I'm back with Alicia Andrews.
Okay.
Robert Strickland, back with Alicia Andrews.
Okay. So the first thing that I want to address
I heard a dude say that yo, they just be saying anything. Yo, they had to sever her trial. They had to sever her trial. The reason why they had to sever her trial is the bulk of the evidence that was gathered and that the state used ain't have nothing to do with her. Nothing to do with her. So they didn't want to take a chance on sending her to trial with them boys only for her shit to get overturned. You know, because none of the evidence really implicated her at all. None of the tests, like she wasn't one of the ones that was tracking Julio Foolio whereabouts, texting girls saying, yo, where's 6 at? And she didn't have the history that Davion Murphy and Rashard Murphy had. She didn't have shell casings from a prior Julio Foolio shooting in her car. You understand? Like, yo, all of that evidence that was strictly pertaining to them would have seriously prejudiced her trial. So they had to separate it. They had to. It was the only right thing to do. That's why, if y'all can remember, when we covered our trial, most evidence that they did use didn't pertain to her. If y'all can remember, I'm like, I don't know about this prosecution. She probably shouldn't even have been charged for real. Because they ain't really have a strong case against her.
put on the record is I did read.
Yo, she probably would have caught more time if she told. If she told that she was aware of everything that was going on and implicated everybody else involved, they probably gave her ass 20. She probably saved 5 years by not snitching.
All of the transcripts that were provided to me a couple months ago. It took me a while to go through them. I successfully read all the transcripts, and I did an evidence view of the things that were in evidence. There were a lot of things that were missing from evidence because they were in the trial of the co-defendants up until I think Monday. My clerk did deliver to me all the items that were marked on.
I was looking into what she was charged with, what she got found guilty of. And it kind of applies, but it's loose. You know, it kind of applies. Basically, what she got found guilty of is negligent. If she didn't know the murder plot was in place, she should have. But she can get a new trial based off the fact that they would have to go through the trial judge rulings. Because they got the trial judge removed off the sentencing based off biasness in some of her rulings. So once it go to the appeals court and they read the transcripts and they look through everything, if they find out that, you know, the judge may have erred somewhere, then she probably do get a new trial.
On the exhibit list that were in possession of the clerk of the court in the co-defendant's case.
She got to gain some weight.
I did receive those on Monday, and I did review all of the
evidence. I ain't gonna lie. There's some ruthless girls in them women penitentiaries. For real. I remember I used to do a detail of MCE. And I used to have to go over the women's cut. Oh, Jessup. Man, this bitch over that bitch did more time than me. One chick in that bitch with life. Other little white girl said she had 18 years. She had about 9 in. I said, damn, these women over here bitten like a motherfucker. They get to have pets in women's jails. I know in Maryland. In Maryland, they get to have dogs and cats and all that shit.
Additionally, I had requested originally when this case was transferred to me, I had requested that the attorneys place all of their arguments with respect to any motions, including motions for judgment of acquittals or motions for reconsideration of previous rulings by the predecessor judge in writing. I had advised counsel that I wanted them to place them in writing along with any case law that they were going to be relying upon, and I asked the state also to file a response to the defendant's motions because I had advised counsel that I was going to make my rulings based on the written motions and the replies that the state provided to me and the case law that you were relying upon. So I will place on the record that the court did in fact read the defendant's motion to reconsider previous pretrial and trial rulings and second amended motion for judgment of acquittal notwithstanding the verdict and or motion for new trial. The court also read the state's response to the defendant's motion to reconsider previous pretrial and trial rulings and second amended motion for judgment of acquittal notwithstanding the verdict and or motion for new trial. I, of course, also reviewed everything that was in the court file. And I am going to place on the record, it's the Rule of Judicial Administration 2.330 subsection J, and I think both of you all cited that rule in your motions as well as in the state's response, that it is discretionary, and I'll cite the rule. Subsection J says prior factual or legal rulings by a disqualified judge may be reconsidered and vacated or amended by a successor judge based upon a motion for reconsideration, which must be filed within 30 days of the order of disqualification, unless good cause is shown for a delay in moving for reconsideration or the grounds for reconsideration exist. So that is discretionary. It is not mandatory for a judge to do that. But I will tell you that in this case, I am going to decline to reconsider any of the previous rulings by my predecessor judge, and that's based upon my review of the court.
Yo, judges do not like overriding other judges, especially not judges in the same court. Now, the appeals court is different. You know, when you go to the appeals court, that's normally like, I think, a 3-judge panel. But most judges that's in the same courtrooms, they don't like overriding their, predecessors. They don't like doing that. Most of them ain't going to do that. And that's basically what she said. She basically said that all the rulings that the judge made previously, she's going to uphold them. And that should be expected. Yeah, man.
Transcripts in my review of everything that counsel for both sides has provided to me. But I will also place on the record that I did go through each and every single one of the defense's assertions with respect to previous rulings that my predecessor judge made with respect to, for instance, the admission of or non-admission of evidence with respect to domestic violence. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but I know that there was disagreements with respect to the charge conference. I know that there was disagreement with respect to the admission of text messages. I know that there was disagreement with respect to the principal instructions. And after having even reviewed all of the defense's assertions as to the defense's argument with respect to errors made by my predecessor judge, I'm going to place on the record that I would not have ruled any differently. So there you have it. And for the record, I'm going to deny your motion for a judgment of acquittal, which was included in your motion for reconsideration of the previous rulings by the predecessor judge. And I will also place on the record that I'm going to deny the motion for judgment of acquittal after the jury's verdict as well. So at this juncture, unless there is any legal reason why either side believes that I have not addressed everything, that we cannot proceed to sentencing, please speak up, and I'll start with the statement.
Judge, I believe that is all the matters that we're awaiting a ruling, so I think that we can proceed to sentencing.
And defense.
We're still missing a ruling on the motion for new trial.
And I will deny that motion as well, after having reviewed the court file as well as the motion, the defense's motion, and the state's response.
Well, she tracked that shit down quick
Other
as a
than
bit.
that, are there any other outstanding issues that the defense believes the court needs to address prior to legally proceeding to sentencing?
No, Judge, if all of the motions have been addressed, then there's nothing else that we need to present to the court.
So the other thing that I neglected to place on the record, there was a pre-sentence investigation report that was ordered, and I did read and review that as well. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Was there something else?
Oh, I just, before we proceed, can I have a moment with Ms. Andrews?
Sure. And I don't have any preference as to whether or not the state has. I don't know if the state has any witnesses. They're going to want to.
And me saying,
you all want to go first, or I
me saying judges don't like overriding other judges. That ain't come from me. That came from my lawyer. Told me that before. Like that shit is rare. It happens, yo, but it's rare. Judges do not like overriding other judges in the same courtroom.
If the defense has any witnesses, them going first.
Judge, we do have the victim's mother, and I'm told she is actually on her way up, so she should be here shortly.
Okay. Let me know then when the defense is ready, after you've had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Andrews.
up, James?
Is that stamp on there needs to be in the court file? It's just attached to, we never received this. So it shows. Who sent me that email? The other thing that I want to place on the record is I received a really odd email Thursday. I have no idea who sent me that email. It does have the case style name of Miss Andrews on it. I can't make heads or tails of what it even means, but because I received some sort of direct email to my work email address in reference to this case, I did make a copy for both the state and the defense, and I put the copy in the court file. All right, so did we decide, did you want to go first? Did the defense have any witnesses that you all want me to hear from?
No, Judge, the defense will not be calling any witnesses.
Okay, and so we're waiting.
Judge, she is here, Ms. Mace is here.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll let the state call the witnesses.
Yep, the state would call Centrica Mace.
Now I wonder why she chose to speak at her trial and not at anybody else's. Only thing that makes sense probably is because she knew the rest of them boys was done. It really wasn't nothing else to say. I think she just wanted to ensure that Alicia Andrews got the max. And a lot of people gave her pushback about how she been, operating when it came down to her son. Look, I don't blame us. Her son is a son. Niggas know he was a troll. Niggas know death was destined. Was in the near future by how he was moving. But a lot of people was on her ass. So she went to Facebook and basically was saying that my son, yeah, he trolled, yeah, he did this. I never agreed with his rap style. I reached out to parents of people he dissed and, so on and so forth. But she's standing on the fact that Julio Foolio ain't killed nobody and wasn't under investigation for no murders. She basically sounded like Mama Duck, because that's Mama Duck excuse too. Yo, but my thing is, if you dissing the dead, yo, you might as well kill some motherfucking body. That's how bad it is. Like, you can't really excuse dissing the dead with saying, oh, my son ain't killed nobody. Or my son wanted, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Because I told y'all before, y'all, when you diss the dead, you might as well kill them. You're going to get treated. If it's a street situation where motherfuckers want retribution, you're going to be treated as if you are the trigger puller. And to be honest, the fuck, you should get treated like you was the trigger puller. So I can't really, side with that. I can't side with that excuse. Yeah, my son dissed the dead. He went to graveyards. He said, fuck this person and called this person dead bitches, but he ain't killed nobody. Man, no, we ain't doing that, Mom Dukes. We ain't rocking with that. He might as well, shit, he doing all that talking. The fuck is the difference?
And then we'll ask our victim advocate to come up as well.
Okay. And she can have a seat in the witness chair.
You can come over here.
I just think it's easier. All right, ma'am, if I can, once you get seated, if I can get you to raise your right hand. Right here. That's all right. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right, you may put your hand down. If I can ask you to state your name for the record.
Centrica Mace.
Okay. You may start.
Judge, she has provided a written statement that she would like to read for the court.
Okay.
To the Honorable Judge, my name is Sandra Mays, and I'm the mother of Charles Jones, known to many as JULIO FOOLIO. I stand before this court carrying the pain that no mother should ever have to endure. My son was more than a rapper or a public figure. He was my child. He was deeply loved by his family, his friends, and the people whose lives he touched. Since the day he was taken from us, my life has never been the same. The actions connected to this case did not just take one life. They destroyed an entire family emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. My son was hunted, followed, and ultimately murdered in what authorities describe as a coordinated plot involving multiple individuals. It is extremely painful to hear Alicia Andrews portray herself as someone who didn't know what was going on. While evidence and testimony show she traveled with the others, tracked my son's movements, and remained involved throughout the events leading to his death. Whether she pulled the trigger or not, my son would still be alive today had people not participated in carrying out this plan.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. Death was imminent. I mean, I think that's a stretch to say if he wouldn't have died that day, 3 years later he'd still be alive. I can't agree with that, Miles. And y'all know I saluted her about how she handled it from the beginning. Like, she ain't do interviews crying and playing victim or none of that. But we gonna always keep it real. That boy had a death wish. If it wasn't that day, it might have been the day after. You feel me? If it wasn't the day after, it might have been a week after. But there was no way at the rate he was going that he was going to live to see 30. That wasn't happening, Miles. Now I get it. You're doing this, to try to gain, I don't want to call it sympathy, but to try to convince the jury that her role was just as important as everybody else's, and she deserved the max, whatever the max is. But to say that he'll still be alive today is I doubt it.
A mother lives with instinct and intuition, and mine tells me that this was not ignorance. This was participation. It was calculated. They planned it. On my way driving here, every second, every minute, every hour, they could have changed their mind. They could have turned around. But yet and still, they carried on the plan to hunt my son down like a deer in the woods, like they were hunting. This was loyalty to violence over humanity. My son was treated like his life did not matter. He was ambushed and robbed of the chance to grow older, become a father one day, continue his career, and simply live. Every birthday, holiday, and family gathering is now filled with grief. I replay the memories of my son constantly. I think about his laugh, his voice, and the moments we will never get back. The trauma from this loss follows me every single day. No sentence will ever bring Charles right to me, but accountability matters. Alicia's family can see her. They can talk to her. She can see her child, but I can't see my child. I have to go to visit him in a wall at the cemetery. I ask this court to remember that behind every headline is a real family suffering permanent damage. My son's life mattered. He was not disposable. The emotional devastation caused by this murder reaches far beyond the courtroom and will affect my life forever. I respectfully ask the court to impose a sentence that reflects the seriousness of the role Alicia Andrews played in the events that led to my son's death, because she knowingly knew what was going on. Choices were made, and those choices had deadly consequences. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of my son, Charles Jones.
Do you have any questions of the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Does the defense have any questions?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. One second.
Yeah, straight up ball out.
So I'm gonna call.
All right, and the defense not intending to call any witnesses, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so I'll let the state present arguments with respect to the recommendation for sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor. We did also receive the defense motion to take judicial notice where they listed, I think, 8 different cases.
I saw that, it's filed in the court file just for the record, May 8th of 2026.
And Judge, I noticed that they were either manslaughter cases or leaving the scene of death. However, upon reviewing them, we did note that they are clearly distinguishable from the facts of this case. The majority of them were negotiated pleas and had reasons for a downward departure. Some of them were, that was the only reason, was a negotiated plea. Others were mental disorder or unsophisticated manner, isolated incident, and Judge, we would argue that those are completely separate and distinct from the facts that you have in front of you, Judge. This case was originally filed as a murder too. The jury has spoken and we respect the jury's verdict. They have found her guilty of a manslaughter, but still the facts of this case are egregious. We are talking about a person who was hunted down. The people that actually pulled the trigger, they're going to be sentenced later and held responsible for that. But what we're asking the court to do is to give this defendant accountability for her participation in this crime. And we are going to be asking for, she scores at bottom of the guidelines, 9 years prison, Florida State Prison, and we're going to be asking for a 15-year prison sentence based on the serious nature of this particular case and the way that it was conducted and carried out, and also based on the mother of the victim in this case also wanting a serious sentence reflective of the facts and nature of this particular case, Judge.
All right, thank you. Defense?
Yes, thank you, Judge. So we are asking the court not to give a 15-year sentence in this case. We're asking the court actually to depart downward under 921.0026, Section 2B. Judge, in that section specifically states the defendant was an accomplice to the offense and was a relatively minor participant in the criminal conduct. We believe that applies here. We also believe there are some other subsections that apply, but that one in particular, just based off of the jury's verdict in this case, where there are 4 other co-defendants who were convicted of much higher offenses that were actually facing the death penalty. The state recognizes that there was a difference between those co-defendants and Ms. Andrews, and the fact that they were convicted and are likely to be sentenced or will be sentenced to life.
Yeah. That's also why her case got severed. Because she wasn't facing the death penalty. That's another reason.
Ms. Andrews' goal, after having read all the transcripts and gone through the trial, is very much minor when compared to those co-defendants in this case. So we're asking the court to go below the guidelines. The reason why I cited or filed a motion to take judicial notice of the 8 cases that I did send over to the court is not because those cases are mirror images of this case. This case is probably a unicorn. I'm not, based off of the motions that we filed, right, the motion.
This JULIO FOOLIO murder trial. Remember, she went to court first. I don't think they would have been able to justify giving her the death penalty based off her cooperation or her role in the whole conspiracy.
For the trial and motions for reconsideration.
She ain't do nothing. She really was just
I
there.
believe that the facts of this case don't amount to a manslaughter charge. There was no manslaughter here at all in this case. And that was argued out in the motions, and so I won't go over that. But this case, to find another case that's exactly like it, was not really our intent, but we don't know that that will actually bear it out. But that's not really our intent. The intent of filing a motion to take judicial notice of these 8 cases is to see a range of different sentences for people who've been convicted of either manslaughter or some sort of act that resulted in a death that wasn't an intentional act. And so all of those cases, if we go down the list, right, state of Florida versus Bango Stedman, that individual received 7 years in the Department of Corrections, followed by 8 years of probation. He scored exactly the same amount of total sentencing points as Ms. Andrews, and in that instance, he made a statement, a spontaneous statement at the scene to officers that he shot him. I shot him, is what his words, right? In a situation like that, that's obviously more egregious than any act that Ms. Andrews is accused of doing or committing. Going down the line, Francisco Vallejo, state of Florida, that was a 2000 case. In that situation, the victim was shot numerous times outside of a trailer park and was initially, the defendant was initially charged with second-degree murder. He pled down to manslaughter. He received a 5-year sentence in the Department of Corrections. He had the same amount of total sentencing points as Alicia Andrews at 176. There are people who had even more total sentencing points. Michelle Diane Young, that's the third case cited there. That individual had 180.2 total sentencing points, received a 5-year sentence in the Department of Corrections, followed by 10 years of probation. And all of these individuals that I list, and I won't go through each one, but it's all attached to the motion taken that you notice. All of their score sheets, all of their arrest affidavits, the judgment and sentences, all of these individuals, none of them got 15-year sentences.
Yeah, but their case wasn't high profile. I mean, they wasn't high profile. The whole world wasn't watching. The whole world watching. They gotta set the example of her.
She's asking for the max of someone who's never been convicted of anything before in her life. This is her first offense, and for reasons that are cited in the motions, the replies, Ms. Andrews will be taking an appeal on the case, on the jury decision, and the rulings that were made in the trial, right? And so she does intend to have a new trial if the appellate court grants it. So she's not testifying here today, and no one else, no witnesses are testifying here today for that reason. So we're asking the court not to take into account the fact that Ms. Andrews is not on the stand testifying, or that her parents are not on the stand testifying on her behalf. We're asking.
What I just say in the car when I was talking about it, it's different. It's way different than her getting on the stand and testifying and saying, you know, I take accountability, than it is her lawyer saying it. Way different. It's viewed differently. Everything. Cause you got YouTubers talking about, yeah, well, he said that she took accountability, so that ruined her appeal. No, it didn't, man. Him saying it and her saying it is different. Even though your lawyer is your mouthpiece and is also speaking for you. But like I said, it's not just black and white and plain and simple like that. It's a lot of logistics that go into it. But you got YouTubers that don't understand that, and they just be rambling over that bitch.
The court to depart below the guidelines to give her a credit time served and followed by 5 years of probation.
Yeah, it is, man. We looked it up.
Anything else from either side before I impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, so the court, having obviously reviewed the trial transcripts, the court file, all the evidence in this case, the pre-sentence investigation report, the argument of counsel, it's the judgment sentence in order of this court to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence her to 15 years in the Florida State Prison. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you. You all let me know when you're ready on Casal, please. Okay, thank you.
Dang, they do that shit. They do that shit so effort. Ugh, I can't even say the word. They just do that shit with ease, yo. You feel me? Like, yeah, I sentenced you to 15 years. Next case. God damn. All right, I couldn't be no judge, man. Fuck that shit. I know it feels good to get it over with, though. Yeah, I know it feel good to finally get over with. For real. 15 years, She got about 3 in. How much time you doing on the violent? Shit, I done fucked it up. Hold on. I wonder sure what Julio Foolio mother said. I'll show you what she said now. So this what his mother said on Facebook because she got backlash. She said it amazes me the number of overgrown adults under my post happy my son was murdered. Remember, it's me today and can you tomorrow. Well, it could be you tomorrow. Was he a saint? No. Was he a drill rapper? Yes. Did they all do it? Yes. Did I condone it? Hell no. Did I reach out to multiple parents for years? Yes. Did they listen? Some. Have he ever been a suspect or person of interest in any homicides? No. Have I ever celebrated anyone's demise my son beef with? Hell no. As stated before, keep that shit off my post and put it under them blogs posts. So somebody was in the comments basically vouching and said they did reach out. I can honestly vouch for the reaching out and not condoning what he had going on. I think it was 2014 when you called me asking me to please ignore his trolling. You even had others reach out. He don't even know that your phone call was one of the reasons I ignored his trolling and dissing so much. You did your job as a mother. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't listen to our moms, and at times it ends up costing us. So even though me and Charles Foolio, I knew Charles when he was young, Boss City Entertainment, Charles, had our differences. I want to send you my condolences and say I know you tried as a mom. Hey, yo, but that's, yo, I told y'all, yo, once the streets get a child, all you can do is pray for him, man. Straight up. But, how much time in Florida? Let me see. In Florida, on a violent charge, if you do catch 15 years, how much time will you actually do?
For a 15-year sentence on a violent crime in Florida, you'll serve at least 85% of that time, which is about 12.75 years. For legal advice, consult a professional.
So she still got what? Still got about 9 years left. The appeals process gonna be. We'll see how that go. I think 15 years is adequate for her role. She can't really complain about that. So finesse 2 times. Hold on, let's see if it's on YouTube. Y'all remember when Suge got arrested, right? And here we go.
I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I gotta say it. This video is true.
Everybody knew at the time that, yo, I got on finesse about this. Like, he was so hurt when Suge got arrested. But it's like, bro, why the fuck is your girl taking charges for you, bro? Like, who the fuck? Like, that ain't no real nigga shit. Like, your girl, your main girl, should not be taking charges for you, my nigga. Like, that's like some young nigga shit that people thought was slick when we was kids, but as a grown-up adult, nah, hell no. You supposed to want her free. I mean, that's your motherfucking lifeline. You don't want her in jail. And you saying how stressed out he was about her being in jail. Now, I think initially she took the charges, and somewhere along the line, Finesse 2 times showed us paperwork saying that he signed the affidavit. And yo, this is the same exact thing that happened with BG. When niggas try to say BG told, yo, BG case, right? I just explained this shit to somebody. And we talked about this before because I had a conversation with the dude that's putting the allegations on. What happened in that situation is that 3 guys was in the car. They gets pulled over. They're in New Orleans. Gets pulled over. It's BG man, and BG girl son. Off the rip, the girl's son take the charges, the gun and the drugs. Everything is his, right? They all gets locked up. But since he took the charge, they let BG and them go. So what ultimately ended up happening was the feds got involved. So y'all know when the feds get involved, they drop the state case. Because this is what they trying to do to finesse. That's why I'm bringing this up. They drop the state case and the feds get involved. Now, when the feds get involved in a state case, all they have is the state's case. They don't really do no further investigating. So in the state's case, mind you, but it's still an open case. So in the state case, you had BG, dude, and BG homeboy in the car. They all gave statements because BG girl son was supposed to take the charge. And his story was it was my girl gun. Yeah, it was my girl gun. So eventually he tries to get the girl to sign an affidavit. So he decides he don't want to take the charge no more. Like I said, but now the feds is involved. So when the feds get involved, it's either BG and this other nigga. Y'all either going to have to testify in front of the grand jury, or we're going to charge y'all too. Mind you, the dude told the feds it was his gun. He told the state it was his gun. And we all running with the same story. Now, the reason why dude is saying BG is a rat is because because dude wanted to get his girl to sign this affidavit. Basically saying that the gun was hers and didn't know it was in the car. Yo, that shit wasn't going to work. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what people... Like, I be saying some of the dumbest shit, yo, on, like, with people, with niggas. You got Rilo thinking he was going to somehow pimp the feds. You got this nigga thinking that you can tell the police it's your gun. You can tell the feds it's your gun. And somehow you're going to get your girl to write an affidavit and they're going to drop the charges? Like, yo, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with niggas. Like, people just don't understand law. So, when it back to BG, would I have done that? I don't think I'm going through those type of lengths. You feel me? But if we all had a plan and we stick it to the plan, I can understand why he did it. Can I call him a rat for that? I don't know. I mean, I ain't really into having niggas take my charges for me and shit like that. But I know when you living in that rap life, that is the thing. You know, that's the thing in the rap world where you got the rapper and you get the, you're going to have somebody take cases for you. So I get that element of it too. Now, once you decide that you're going to take the case, can you back out of it? I don't know if it worked that way. Especially after the plan was in motion. Now, for your defense, he said that BG and them knew that he was going to get the girl to sign the affidavit. And he was blindsided by the fact that they testified in front of the grand jury. And it put him in a situation where so he had to cop out. But my thing, when it comes down to that is, bro, you already said it was yours, that affidavit. And they probably was looking at it the same way. Like, that shit ain't going to fucking work. What he was ready to do is get everybody back charged. And now we all locked up. Now, I don't know. Take with that information and how you take it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would have did it. I'm not getting in front of no grand jury to testify. And I remember when it first happened, I told y'all, his lawyer probably told me they had to do it. Because the feds got involved and they was re-examining the case. And they see Christopher Dorsey somehow got out this case. They try and bring him back in. So it's like, yo, you either coming back in this case and we're going to charge you, or you're going to have to say what you told to the motherfucking, the city of New Orleans when y'all got arrested originally. Now, FINESSE2TYMES, back to him. Him and Suge got arrested. I think they found a gun, some drugs, or whatever they found. Suge takes the case. Now, remember, Suge just was locked up not too long ago. They booked him. So, Finesse 2 times, and like I said, I don't know when he did this. I don't know if he did this when they locked up the last time or when she got locked up originally. But I know he didn't do it on the scene. Like the dude in BG case did. He didn't just jump out the car and say, look, everything in that bitch mine, let her go. He didn't do that. He let her take the charge. But somewhere along the line, he signed the Alpha David. So what he's ready to explain is, since you signed this Alpha David, the feds is going to drop the case on Sugar and charge Finesse. So he's upset because in his mind, he's saying, well, you know, I've been he's lying, basically. He's lying because he's not taking accountability, saying that I took the case right there. Y'all should have been charged me, but there's no way you took the case right there because they would have been charged. You tried to sign this Alpha David with hopes that was going to get her off, and somehow you wasn't going to get held accountable. This is what I mean by niggas don't understand law. And yo, you cannot beat these people at their own game. You can't beat them at they fucking make the rules and break them. It's like people want to play a game with these people, and it's a losing game. Finesse, and for everybody else that played it, like it's a losing game, yo. If you was going to take the case, you should have just took the case, my nigga. It wasn't no reason for motherfucking Sugar to be taking no motherfucking charge. And then you tried to take your case after that. Nah, fuck no, that wasn't gonna work. I just got into it with Dewberry bluffing ass earlier. Talking about I'm a hater. Nah, nigga, you a fuck boy, nigga. You talk all this street prison shit, you hang with a rat, nigga. Fuck out of here. Everybody hating, nigga. I just call y'all niggas what y'all is.
250, man. Listen, I ain't gonna lie, this is a serious man. With some
Nah, man, so I got some good news, man. I got some bad news, man. Y'all tell me what y'all want first, man. Y'all tell me what y'all want first. This shit sad as a motherfucker, man. I don't know if I want to tweak out or not. I ain't gonna lie. Come on. The offer to my scam likely. How the a motherfucker gonna call the phone and they gonna put across the motherfucker scam likely. Just automatically don't let them through. Just automatically block their ass. Scam likely. What the you let the motherfucker through for? It don't make no sense. Out of here, good. Nah, man. So y'all know yesterday I told y'all she had court. So she went to court and sit for trial today, and they set her trial for August. And when she left. Okay, like, so they have a probation thing down there. Like, when you make bond, like, it's like basically you on probation. So they wanted her to pay something towards some type of fees or something. So she was like, she basically was like, shit, all right, shit, am I lagging or what? This shit lagging? Yeah, I'm in a hotel. Man, what the f*** you talking about? It look like I'm in a motel. I get tired of you bad saying that whole ass. Shut the yeah, I'm in a hotel. Ain't no good Airbnb around here. It's a hotel though, and it's comfortable.
Yeah,
and that motherfucker got a bed, man, and a shower, man. And that motherfucker gonna keep me warm or cold, man. You come to worry about it for, man. Just listen to the vibe, man. Motherfucker always got something to say about what ain't. Where you at, man? Where you hoe at, man? She bad motel. Good. This motel ain't she good. I'm on the last floor in it. You see what I'm saying? I always got the pop. I'm on the last
Hit that like button, y'all. Scotty Chan from
You understand what I'm saying? I'm all the way up in the earth. You understand me, my boy? Yeah, I'm all the way up in the earth. You understand me? I'm on the 32nd floor in this motherfucker, little boy. You understand me? Have you ever been 32 floors? Have you ever been 32 floors in the air anywhere beside the child support office? Have you ever been 32 floors up anywhere besides the me hospital, bitch? You ain't been nowhere. Hey, Motel 6 ain't got 32 floors.
Yeah, I need to get to the motherfucking story,
Whole
bitch.
ass nigga. Yeah, die.
To the motherfucking story, nigga.
Your ass gonna die, hater. And get what? I hope when you go crank your car up, your radiator fall out the bottom of that motherfucker. You talking about, and I hope your homeboy backdoor your ass. Since you're a hating, jealous ass, you the kind that they need to kill on GTA. Yeah, they need to spur the real. There's a lot of that don't understand. It's like that. They don't get no fuck. Kill him on GTA. Yeah, kill him. Don't kill the good young that play football and shit. Just find one of them right there and gun him down. Gun the hating ass down. Gun the down who's sitting around hating for nothing. Gun them down. Them the ones I wouldn't give a f to see in the casket on GTA. Yeah, gun that ass down who always sitting around hating on the next hate on the in front of you, gun this bitch down. You fat and skinny at the same time. My ain't little. Fine, voluptuous. Y'all wanna wait until y'all see. Y'all ain't got no evidence on this woman.
Alright, let's go back.
Which I ain't worried about the charge because and I spit in your face on GTA. Soft ass, little ass boy. And my battery finna die. Soft ass nigga. I kick your ass, push your ass on the ground, nigga. I'm my bitch ass, nigga. So Suge went to court. So they set her for trial. Which I ain't worried about the charge because I took the charge. Now they saying that they gonna come back and indict me.
Look, you see how he said he took the charge, but he didn't take the charge. Taking the charge would have been like what BG Man did before he tried to flip. You didn't take the charge, bro. She got locked up, and you tried to run a play where you was going to sign out for David, hoping that she would get off and they wouldn't come back to charge you. But that's not what happened, bro. You didn't take the charge, Finesse. If you'd have took the charge, she'd have never got booked. You try to run a play that was stupid, and you better hope you don't pay for it, my nigga. Shit was stupid.
If they dismiss her, they gonna come back and indict me. This illegal as a motherfucker.
And it's not illegal.
I told them from the jump it was my shit. Y'all supposed to charge me then. Y'all wanna wait until y'all see. Y'all ain't got no evidence on this woman. Yes, that's what they saying. They saying if they dismiss hers, that they gonna come back and re-indict me for it. Well, guess what? It is what it is, man. I know the law just like y'all do. Bring that shit on. Ain't no weapon.
That's not double jeopardy, Finesse. Somebody need to tell y'all, like, yo, that bitch loud and wrong. Yo, that is not double jeopardy, my nigga. Like, that's standard. You feel me? Like I told you, I thought it was double jeopardy when they charged me twice for the same crime, 2 years later, 2 years, a year apart. You feel me? But it's not double jeopardy because you was never charged. You was never charged. You was never indicted. You was never found not guilty. So yeah, so they can't drop the charges on her since you're now saying that everything is yours. And you put yourself in a trick bag because you admitted everything is yours. Yeah, they can drop the charges on her and grab you. And you'll be prosecuted for it. Now, whether you get, shit, I don't even know how you get found not guilty when you saying it's yours, but it definitely ain't double jeopardy, my nigga.
They've been formed against me, won no way. So look, on top of that, right? Check this out. This is Smith County. This is Smith County. The woman name down there, right? The woman name down there is Casey Serrani, whatever the name is. Sugar, she tells Sugar she need a fee for her bond or whatever. Sugar tells the woman, okay, she say, well, she don't give Sugar a specific number or nothing. So she said, I just need a payment. Sugar give her $150. Now, man, y'all, we got a bonding company to pay and pre-trial. The pre-trial people to pay. So she like, all right, well, I just paid $2,500 on my bond, $2,000 on my bond. They go, y'all $150. This is just pre-trial. Y'all, why this woman in Smith County in Texas, why this woman accepts the payment, waits until Sugar leaves, calls Sugar's lawyer and say, I'm going to do a failure to payment. She's looking at us as who we are. She's looking at finesse and Sugar. She's not looking at us as civilians. As regular pedestrians.
I'm missing. Hold up, y'all. I checked out for a second. What the fuck is he talking about?
Now, mind y'all, we got a bonding company to pay. Serene, whatever the name, that they gonna come back and re-indict me for it. Well, guess what? It is what it is, man. I know the law just like y'all do. Bring that shit on. Ain't no weapon that been formed against me won no way. So look, on top of that, right? Check this out. This is Smith County. The woman name down there, right? The woman name down there is Casey Serene, whatever the name is. Sugar, she tells Sugar she need a fee for her bond or whatever. Sugar tells the woman, okay, she say, well, she don't give Sugar a specific number or nothing. So she said, I just need a payment. Sugar give her $150.
You talking about pre-trial, bro. Like, come on, my nigga. Like, how you been committing... Yo, niggas be committing crimes too long to be that ignorant on how... Yo, when you in pre-trial, you gotta pay. You gotta pay, man. I don't know if it's weekly, monthly, or whatever it is, but you gotta... That's the whole point of being released. And that has nothing to do with your bond. That's something totally opposite from the bond conditions. Pre-trial, you got bond conditions, and then you got pre-trial conditions. Those are two separate entities. What he's talking about is pre-trial, and yes, there is some type of you do gotta pay for that. I don't know if she on electric monitoring or whatever. She gotta go to classes or she gotta check in. But yeah, that shit costs money, man. Like, he painting this narrative out so far like he's being victimized. Come on, Finesse. You've been committing crime for too long, bro. Did not know this shit. Maybe that's why you always locked up, yo. Y'all told y'all, a lot of these niggas that stay in and out of jail, niggas just stupid. You feel me? Like, and I ain't saying everybody. I'm saying, yo, the bulk of the niggas that stay in and out of jail aren't book smart. They lack education. And it's just, that's why it's so important to have struggling schools in the urban community. You know, because it keeps the cycle going. Or just in the black community in general. It ain't gotta be urban. It keeps the cycle going, man. Like in Baltimore, we got 12th graders reading at a fucking 3rd grade level. That is a fucking plus. Yes. You know what I mean? In the minds of the system. Because that lets us know that we're going to keep this cycle going, because most niggas that go in and out of jail is uneducated. Now, you got niggas that is educated that get caught in the mix too. But I'm talking about the bulk of the people in the jail. Probably 70% of niggas that stay in and out. I ain't talking about niggas that just, I'm talking about niggas that been in and out. You know how you got niggas that been like, shit, I've been locked up my whole life. Not me, but you know how you got niggas that's you know, that live like that. I'm talking about from juvenile all the way up to adult. You know what I mean? Motherfucker might be 35, and since they was 15, might only had 5 years on the streets. Education play a role in that. I'm not saying he can't read. What the fuck? I didn't say he can't read, bro. I was talking about in Baltimore. We got 12th graders reading on the 3rd grade level. I'm saying education plays a major role in mass incarceration. Obviously, he lacks some type of comprehension skills, or he's intentionally misleading. Because what he's talking about, he's saying it as if he's been victimized. He already said that she's on pretrial. They have to pay for pretrial release. Now he's telling this story, making it seem like people was getting over on him, but you mustn't read the terms of the pretrial release. Because you got to pay for that shit. That shit not free.
Now, mind y'all, we got a bonding company to pay and pre-trial.
See, there you go.
Pre-trial people to pay. So she like, all right, well, I just paid $2,500 on my bond, $2,000 on my bond. It go y'all $150. This is just pre-trial. Y'all, why this woman in Smith County in Texas, why this woman accepts the payment, waits until Sugar leave, calls Sugar lawyer and say, I'm going to do a failure to payment. She looking at us as who we are. She looking at Finesse and Sugar. She
bro.
not looking at us.
Yo, that's not her responsibility, bro. It's not her responsibility to update y'all on when payments is due, my nigga. Ain't no, if she only paid $100, like how long was she on pretrial before she gave her this $150? She might have already been in the red. And what it sounds like is she asked y'all this under the assumption that y'all was fully aware of how much y'all owe. So when she gave $50, she ain't ready to argue with you about it. You know, that ain't her job. Her job ain't to argue with you about money. All right, I'm going to take the $150 and I'm going to call her attorney. That's how that work, bro.
It's civilians. It's regular pedestrians. She looking at it like this is Sugar and it's Finesse. They got way more than $150. Guess what she tells Sugar's lawyer? Hey, I'm going to file a failure to pay and a warrant for her arrest will be issued. The people in Smith County in Texas, y'all so racist. Y'all so money hungry. Y'all mad y'all had to give me my jewelry back.
No.
Y'all mad because there's nothing y'all can do because y'all mad at black people.
No, yo.
Y'all racist.
That don't sound like racism, yo. Niggas gotta stop doing that, bro. Yo, niggas gotta stop throwing yo, racism is a real thing, yo. Niggas gotta stop just throwing racism out when it's convenient. Yo, that don't sound like racism, my nigga. That sounds like to me that y'all wasn't up on y'all shit. You feel me? Like, that's what that sound like to me, yo. That sound like to me that y'all didn't read the pretrial conditions. Y'all didn't know when the first payment was due. That's what that sounds like to me, man. And it's not their responsibility to tell you this. They ain't gonna tell you this. They trying to see you back to jail. The fuck, they make way more money off you in jail than you on the motherfucking streets. They hoping you forget the payment. That's not racism. Finesse.
This is fuck down.
I'm not saying they not.
We came down to do it.
I'm not saying they not racist. I'm sure they is. But what he's describing isn't racism. He's not describing racism right here. This is not racism. Just sounds like that they wasn't up on their business.
Show. As soon as we pulled up to y'all door, y'all didn't even give me time to back in. I didn't have a warrant. Sugar didn't have a warrant. Y'all had no reason to bum rush my car.
Now that could be racism.
Y'all.
That could be racism right there. But what he's explaining about the pretrial officer, that don't sound like racism to me. The fact that they blitzed them for what he's saying is no reason, that could be racist.
Bum rush my car, and y'all lock me up for something this big. I ain't playing, y'all. This on my grandma's grave. They locked me up for something this big. Locked me up. Not no citation. Put me in handcuffs and took me to their jail for this. If y'all seen the pictures, if y'all seen the video footage, the body cam footage, y'all will see that they locked me up for this. I didn't, they bad honeycomb braids and you hoe ass talking about I'm going to jail, getting right back out. And then I go to jail for this and get right back out, bitch ass nigga. Yeah, bitch ass nigga. They locked me up for this. Granted,
Yo,
I had like 8 or 9 pills in my...
Come on, you're not keeping it real, bro. Like, yo, I hate when niggas do this. According to the documents, Hampton was charged with possession of substance, including marijuana. Buckingham was charged with similar charges, including tampering of evidence and a weapons charge. Come on, you had a joint on you, bro. Like, why the fuck is you sitting there playing? Like, yo, I hate when niggas do that, yo. Like, yo, if you're gonna tell a story, yo, be real about it, yo. Don't be on the old sucker duck ass shit, bro. You got caught with a firearm too, my nigga. She took the firearms charge, bro. So you ain't want to get locked up for nothing that day. I'm about sick of niggas, man. Got the girl took the firearms charge. Then you start feeling bad for her. And fucking and writes an affidavit saying everything in the car is yours. Now you're complaining that you got locked up for the weed, not even mentioning that a gun was there. I guess the gun not important because she took the gun charge. No, bro, that's not how that shit works, Finesse. Finesse, I don't know what the fuck wrong with him. He need to tighten up.
My Louis Vuitton bag.
That will go
check
crazy.
this out now, y'all.
Nah, y'all. What's going on is, I explained that. What's going on is, all right, when Suge got booked, y'all remember Suge did all this, she was just locked up for like 2-3 months. The arrest happened in January 2026. Suge got arrested, rearrested, because she must have missed something. I don't know if it was a court date or whatever the fuck she missed. FINESSE2TYMES wrote an affidavit saying that everything in the car was his. I think he wrote that thinking that they was going to drop the charges on her, but not factoring in that they can now recharge you. So Suge went to court yesterday, from what he said, and they told Suge if they drop the charges on you, they're going to charge, this the feds, they're going to charge Finesse with everything. Because he already admitted to it. He wrote an affidavit saying everything was his. So no, they ain't get rebooked, but he might be on the verge of getting booked based off that affidavit. I think he thought by signing that affidavit, they was going to be both in the clear because he didn't get charged on the scene, not understanding that, yo, if you never been charged and beat the case, it ain't called double jeopardy, bro. They can come back and charge whenever the fuck they want to. No, she not locked back up. She home. She just went to court. And they told her if they drop the charges on her, they charge her Finesse.
These my pills. I don't get no
Harvard Road, D Money.
I sibling and 9 pop pills, nigga. I ain't no shame in my game.
Yeah, yo, that's what I'm saying. One of those, these shit's stupid. It's the same stupid shit like Rallo. Thought he was going to pay somebody to take the charge, thinking the feds wasn't going to investigate, thinking he just was going to take his word, lock this person up, free him. It's like, yo, what the fuck is niggas living in a fucking video game? Are we living in a simulation? Like, yo, people cannot, yo, if you cannot be committing crimes and be that ignorant of law, man. Especially now that finesse age.
I get it for them yerks and fucks up to sleep. You understand me? I get for them yerks and I make real love to my woman. I love Percocets. I love them. I'm sorry. I don't care who don't like them.
Nah, he didn't. No, he didn't get arrested at the Petra. So they got arrested at a show in January. They got arrested at a show. What FINESSE2TYMES is explaining now is that Suge just went to court the other day. He explained in 2 different situations. He explained what happened at court when they told, I guess the lawyer told Finesse and them, or the prosecutor said if they drop the charges on her, they charging him. And he's explaining the pretrial situation where the pretrial officer called her lawyer and said, if I don't get this payment, I'm going to violate her for non-payment. She's going to come back to jail. So he's talking about the arrest, but he's not factoring in that a gun was confiscated. He's not factoring that in. He keeps talking about I only got locked up for weed. Yeah, because that's the charge you took on scene. But now, since you've signed that affidavit saying everything is yours, if they do come back with charges on you, you're going to get charged with the weed and the pills and the gun. What it do, bro?
I was buying them from anybody. I told y'all I buy mine straight from a 93-year-old woman.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to mix the stories together because he know what he did was dishonorable. Suge should have never got locked up for that shit, bro. If you could have avoided all of this if you would have just not let your girl get locked up for this shit to begin with. That's really simple and plain. Like, case closed. She should have never took these charges, bro. Knew good goddamn well that gun wasn't hers, man. But since you didn't want to go to jail, you let her take the charge. Then you felt bad for her and try to find a way for her to get out, trying to be slick. But now it's like, all right, we'll let her go, but we charging you.
I know she ain't gonna kill me.
Now, I don't know if they're going to charge him. He just said they threatened him with charges being filed on him. More than likely, he going to be like, man, fuck that shit. You got to take that case. More than likely, based off of what we witnessing right now. Man, Suge taking that case. That nigga ain't taking that. He gonna withdraw that affidavit. That nigga Raymond, he probably already withdrawn it. Like, man, fuck that, man. Give me the affidavit back. Act like that shit never happened. Suge, I got lawyer money. Yeah, man, we gonna fight this shit vigorously.
And if she ain't got them, I don't want them. I might, if I need the longer, might I go in the bathroom and jack out before I come in? You gotta think about it. Suge booty big as a motherfucker. You're not finna just Suge without knitting on GTA. If you try to just first round, you're gonna net in about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. I don't be liking it. I don't be liking it. I don't be like, see, I'm going to go about 2-3 rounds anyway, right? But I don't like when I go in there for about 3, 4, 5 minutes on the first round. No. Well, I got to do something about this shit up, man. Hell, now, ain't no way I was in there just 5, 6 minutes like that in the first round, man. I would have been in about 30, 40, 45 minutes, man. No way. So when it happened, you're going to feel a little woozy about it. But see, when I start taking them Yerkasits, now, how that first round is hell. That first round is hell. Yeah, see that first round. See, I done already set the tone. Buddy, hey, buddy, hey. And you gotta make it wit. See the smiles?
Alright, so he pretty much told the story. I just wanted to, provide clarity for people that's confused. Because if you just listen to what he's saying, you're not going to get a clear understanding of what's actually going on. Because I don't know if he, intentionally misleading or just don't know how to explain. I think he's doing it on purpose because like one and only said, he did some sucker shit and he's just trying to duck accountability from it. So he's trying to blame them for how things playing out instead of just was like, dang, I should have never even let her take that case. You know what I mean? I should have never let her take that case. We probably could almost had this shit resolved by now. But now you got all these things going on at once. They trying to violate it for pretrial. They talking about dropping the case on it and charging you. Now he's sitting back, don't know what the fuck to do. Because he done signed this affidavit saying everything his. So he try to find a way out. You heard me? I'm telling you, he gonna find shit. For that sake, going to jail, man. I guarantee you. I mean, I can't guarantee you. I would hope we do the right thing, because you don't want to fuck your girl like fuck. You need her on the streets. That's someone gonna hold you down. You feel me? Especially when you know everything was yours. No good goddamn brother girl ain't had no goddamn gun, man. The fuck? So you and her together and she holding the gun down? Like, come on, finesse. Type shit. Fuck type games you playing, bro. Like, who the fuck does that, man? Man, fuck no. I would never do it. You'd never caught me with me and my girl in the car together. And I'd be like, yeah, here, you hold the strap. Cause shit happens fast. You feel me? Man, shit happens so motherfucking fast, you think you can better get that bitch from her? Before niggas send 4, 5, 6 shots your way? Man, fuck no. Y'all both be in that bitch dead. Double homicide. Niggas crazy, man. Man, what it is, Weston? Yo, but y'all know I gotta go to work tomorrow. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all share the live. It's another day. Keep what you need. And I'm out.